Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. My name is Vashti and today I will be sharing with you 10 color activities that will help your toddler learn their color recognition and have fun while doing it. In this video, I will be sharing with you dollar store inspired learning activities that you can try that are sure to keep your toddler entertained and their hands busy. You by no means need to try any of these activities, but I hope this video can inspire you to think creatively when it comes to making learning fun for your toddler. So with that being said, let's dive right in. So this was the very first coloring activity that I ever introduced to my son. I love Montessori toys. I love the educational side of Montessori toys. I love the look of them. I love how durable they are. But Montessori toys are so expensive, and if you're on a tight budget, it can be quite discouraging. So I wanted to find cheap ways to incorporate Montessori, and lo and behold, I was at the dollar store, and this 3-cubby drawer set was there for only like $4. This took me on a whole new level of inspiration for my son. I actually gained a whole new appreciation for the dollar store after this, and I've been shopping there ever since. So I did need to sand it down a bit to keep my son from getting splinters, and then I just used some acrylic paint. And I love that a 90-cent bottle of paint could look so vibrant and expensive. Then I just used these dollar store wooden squares and painted them as well. So the object of this game was for my son to be able to open up the drawers and match the square with the color of the drawer. He was young at the time, and it did get a bit frustrating for him with trying to open the drawers and fit the drawers back. Assistance was needed, and he found more entertainment in collecting the colored squares and putting them into a container than playing with the actual cubby, so thank goodness it was cheap. But as time went on, I noticed my son loved to stick his wooden coins into coin slots, and so I came up with this idea to turn this cubby into a square slot for my son. I just used my husband's rotary tool, and yes, I know the outcome isn't really Pinterest worthy. It looks a little burnt and crooked, and I shouldn't have rushed through the cutting, but I was so excited and it works great, and now at this stage of his life, he loves this much better and it keeps him busy for a long time. With this simple activity, your toddler is gaining so many new skills like hand-eye coordination to place the squares into the slot opening, visual motor skills with tracking how the coins go into the opening, and attention span as they concentrate on getting the coins into the opening. Also, it teaches them how to work on their finger grip, which will prove very useful as they get older. One thing I wish I would have done from the very beginning was to seal the paint with Mod Podge. So if you're thinking of giving this activity a try, you can pick up a bottle from the dollar store and apply it after you're done painting for a nice finish and for paint durability. So this is another wood accessory that I found at Dollarama. I thought it would make for a great sorting activity, so I just used construction paper and cut them into squares to fit at the bottom. Then the dollar store came out with these colored wooden cubes that are quite miniature in size and super cute, and I knew my son would love it. I'm glad my son doesn't put stuff in his mouth anymore, but these are still a choking hazard, not only for him, but for my little daughter too, so I'm always supervising my toddler when using these cubes and any other activity that requires small pieces. So the object of the game is to use these tweezers to grab the wood pieces and put them in their allotted spot. They do this by matching the colored tweezers to the block they are putting into the cubby. The tweezers are meant to build your child's pincer grasp, hand strength, coordination, and other fine motor skills like the development of the thumb and forefinger. Another thing you can try is making a tweezer out of a clothespin. So if you have 2 popsicle sticks lying around with some glue and a clothespin, you can whip this up in no time and for next to nothing. So I was really hoping these tweezers would work for my son, but they are really hard for him to squeeze, so he still just uses his hands to match the colors. I just thought I'd add that in here for anyone whose child is older than mine and wanting more of a challenge. My son is now 23 months old, and I've been showing him how to use these tweezers for the last several months now. This is a great game to introduce to your toddler. Even if their attention span only lasts a couple minutes on the actual activity, they will still have fun playing with the blocks for imaginative play, like dumping and pouring and transporting them. So you can use just about any kind of recyclable to make this game. I wanted to use a mason jar because I was feeling really inspired to use my husband's drill one day and was curious to see how it worked on a metal lid. FYI, as you can see, it is glass, which you definitely don't need to do, but I wanted to make something that looked a little more aesthetically pleasing and durable that would last a little longer, but I'm always supervising my son when doing this activity. So once the holes were made with the drill, I just used these color ring binder safety stickers to cover around the holes and used these pre-colored dollar store dowels as well. As you can see, these holes are really small. That's up to you whether you want to make the holes bigger, depending on your child's fine motor development. My son has been playing games like this for a while, so I thought I'd give him a little more of a challenge to work on developing fine motor skills and muscle strength as he stabilizes his hand to fit the dowel into the small hole. Again, your child will be able to eventually differentiate between the color of the holes with the dowel. But just a reminder is that your kid is still young. They don't care about the rules of the game, and it's okay that they stick the dowel anywhere that they want, or even just want to collect the dowels by holding them in their hands. If that's what they want to do, you can always just turn it into a counting game. Either or, they are working on so many developmental milestones such as building concentration, muscle stability, and they are learning about the immense satisfaction they feel when they are able to complete a required action like getting the dowel through the hole. So with this particular activity, I was looking for ways to use my dollar store felt pack, and I started cutting them and realized that they are big enough to make pockets out of these squares. I know my son loves to take things in and out of bags and cans and just anything, so I figured I'd give this idea a try. Simply pen mark the size of the pocket you want to make. I actually used a flashcard to outline it as it fit well with the size popsicle sticks I'm using. Then, with whatever scissors you have, cut evenly along the lines of your shape. Next, take the biggest piece of that leftover felt, align it with the bottom of the other felt sheet to make your pocket opening. I like to flip it over to cover up the pen marks, and then you just hot glue along the sidelines of the felt so you can give it a nice barrier and fold. Then you just glue the back side of the felt down and also the bottom so the sticks don't fall out and remain enclosed. And there you have it. No needle and thread needed, and it took 2 minutes to put together. And they actually turn out looking quite nice and attractive for your child, and the hot glue really keeps it remaining durable, just like a needle and thread would. By using this activity, you are showing your toddler two objects of identical color but with different shapes. At first, your toddler may want to just hold on to the popsicle sticks and not care too much about matching. That's okay. They even may put different colors together, or they just like the fact that they can put things in the pocket and take them out again. That's also okay. Eventually, your toddler will be able to differentiate between the different colors, and you can build conversation around which color goes where. Either or, you're getting your toddler familiar with different textures and as well as working on their fine motor skills. You can get these colored popsicle sticks at the dollar store, or you can paint them with just a little paint or food coloring. Alright, so with this project, I really wanted to incorporate balls into this activity because my son loves to play with them and he's in a throwing phase right now, so I was curious to see how he would like this game. I wanted to use a box that had a lid because you can do a lot with a box like that, so this box was exactly what I was looking for. It's easier to open things up and get things out of it, so if ever you have an Amazon box like this, keep it around because you can turn it into a cool activity. My son really enjoyed this game, but I ended up going a step further and made openings at the bottom for the balls to come out of. I just glued some more cardboard strips to make walls on the inside to keep them in their slots, and it ended up being easier for him to just grab the balls instead of reopening the box lid over and over again and potentially breaking the activity a lot faster. So again, this is just another fun way to incorporate color learning by sorting the balls into their colored spots. Your toddler may just like dropping the balls in and seeing them reappear as they come out of their slots. So with any activity you introduce to your child, it should be something that you know they would enjoy, and you can know that by simply analyzing what they like doing on a daily basis. understanding where they are at developmentally, and understanding the schemas that they are in, that will make the activity that you make them so much more enjoyable for them and fun for you to watch as they take what you offer them and have fun with it. So in my other videos, I always have tin can activities. It just seems to never get old for my toddlers, so I continue to incorporate them into the little games that I make. So with this game, I used those same colored cubes that were perfect for fitting into this mini tin can, and I also incorporated shapes, as it's never a bad idea to get them familiar with different shapes but of the same color and category, and it builds conversation when playing alongside them. But I used it specifically as a color sort so he would know where to put each colored cube. It was fun when I first introduced this game to him. I kept the tin cans closed, and it was a pleasant surprise for him to see what was inside when he opened them. He loves these mini cube blocks, and I love seeing his eyes light up when he opened it up. So this game not only gets them familiar with their colors through matching, it also can be a great number game for them as well, as together you can count how many blocks can fit into each can, as well as they are learning about volume and how many blocks can fit properly into the can and how much is too much when trying to close it. It's also great for strengthening those fine motor skills, imaginative play, as this game can turn into anything they wanted to, and it keeps them busy and engaged. So with this activity, I got this paint organizer from the dollar store. I liked how it had movable cups inside, as I know my son would appreciate taking the cups in and out and dumping and transporting the pom-poms. You can pretty much use anything like an egg carton or a tin muffin can. The options are endless. But I also use these colored shapes so he can identify where each of the colored pom-poms would go, as well as I use this whisk to place the pom-poms inside so he can work on his pincer grasp. I like how this game is small enough to be able to fit inside a busy bag for on those days where he doesn't want to help me around the house or hang with me when I make dinner. So having this as well as that tin can activity as a busy bag is great for keeping him engaged. So as you can see, this color game turned more into a stacking and transferring game, but nonetheless, it still provides sensory exploration, imaginative play, fine motor skill development, and tactile learning. So this is also one of the first coloring activities that I introduced to my son months ago, and he loved it. I had collected these free color swatches from Canadian Tire, and I cut them into squares for color matching. I like that these colors are more vibrant and thicker than construction paper, and also they are free, so I was excited about doing this activity with him. We practiced this game without the clothespins because, as I stated in my one activity, my son is not even 2 yet, and so he hasn't really grasped the concept of it and doesn't quite have the strength or grip down pat. He seems interested to try and learn, but he doesn't have too much patience to keep going. But just like the tweezers, clothespins also have many great benefits in helping with your child's fine motor skills. When using their pincer grasp to squeeze the clothespin together and then aligning it with the proper color, not only are they practicing hand strength and hand-eye coordination, they are also strengthening their pincer grasp needed for writing, working on their bilateral coordination, motor planning, and sensory input. So this is a pack of foam flower shapes that I got at the dollar store way back, and I'm glad I could finally find a good use for them. So the object of this game is to take the flower popsicle sticks and place them in their colored slots. All I had to do was glue these foam shapes to the popsicle stick and paint the tops of the egg cartons to match. Super quick and easy to make, and just another way for your toddler to work on their fine motor skills and color recognition. I will say that the egg carton is a little finicky when taking the flowers in and out, so it can get a little frustrating, but if you are there, you can hold the carton down while they work on taking the popsicle sticks out and placing them back in. Depending on your child, they may like the extra challenge of using both hands to steady the carton while placing the flowers in and out, but it's up to them whether they would like assistance. So I thought this game would be fun for my son, mainly because he's been so fascinated with taking my empty vitamin D bottles or medicine bottles with the medicine droppers and walking around with them. And as well as he loves to play with water, and it's not water weather here anymore, and I'm getting really annoyed that he keeps playing in the dog's water bowl. So I thought incorporating a water activity would be awesome to try. So when using the eyedropper, your child is strengthening their hand muscles, practicing coordination, control, and patience as they wait to squeeze the dropper by moving it over to the cotton balls. And eyedroppers are also awesome for isolating the fingers used for handwriting, so it's getting your child familiar with how they will one day hold a pencil. So you can use whatever you have on hand. Used eyedroppers, some plastic cups or bowls. Again, I used glass, but I am supervising my son and I want him to get familiar with using more adult cutlery. And these little mason jars were perfect for his little hands. So this game also provides scientific fun as you show your toddler that when putting the food color in the water, it creates a cool picture as it absorbs and changes the color of the water. As well as when combining different colors to the water, it changes the colors too. Again, this game ended up turning into a pouring and transferring game, and as well as the stacking game, but he still had so much fun regardless of how messy it got, and he didn't want it to end. Well, there you have it. Fun and engaging learning activities that not only help your toddler learn their colors, but help with so many other developmental milestones as well. If you liked this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button. I have more videos like this coming out in the near future, and I would love if you would stick around for the ride. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!